What's up, guys? It's Jake. Today we're going to be going back to an old phase that I went through, and we're going to be modeling something from Bendy and the Ink Machine. We are actually going to be modeling the ink machine itself today. I'm going to do my best on this project. It might be a little bit difficult because this project you can't really go online and find a whole lot of reference images that show the ink machine like 360 degrees all the way around. So I'm going to do my best with the reference image that I have, and hopefully it'll turn out good in the end. So the first thing that we're going to start with is we're going to need a cube. And so we're actually going to scale this up so that we get the size that we want. And then we actually need to scale this down a little bit skinnier. And the reason why we're doing that is because judging from the reference image on here, it shows that we have a tank that goes on the back of the ink machine. So we want to make sure that we get that tank, and so we actually need to make two multi-cuts, and then we need to extrude those equally out this way, and then this will be the area for the tank. And then from here, what we want to do is we want to make another multi-cut right around here, and we want to select these two faces, and we want to extrude these, and then make another multi-cut here. And then we want to select this edge right here, and we want to just move this down because there's supposed to be a slant there. And then we kind of want to do the same thing here because there's supposed to be a slant up here as well. So we're going to select this edge, and we're just going to bring it down. And that is going to be the main structure of the ink machine. Now, the way the ink machine is set up is there's a tank in the back, there's a pipe that goes from here, goes down, around, and towards the front, and there's like a spout or like a pipe that leads out over here. So we're going to try to correlate that as much as we can. We're going to try to make this look as much like the original thing as we can. And actually, the first thing that we need to do is we need to move these edges, or maybe just this edge. We need to move, no, we need to move both of these. So we're going to move both of these edges over here. We need to select this face. We need to extrude, and like I said, guys, I'm just basing it off of the image, and then we need to scale it in and then extrude that in because there's supposed to be like exposed wires and stuff inside of there that we can add later, and I'm going to try to texture this the best that I can, and we will see how that goes whenever it comes to it. So that's what we have so far. And this is, the ink machine is like very sharp pieces. They're not like smooth or anything like that. They're all basically sharp except for maybe the pipe. So now what we need to do is we need to work on the actual like spout of the ink machine. So what we're going to do for that is we're going to get a cylinder, we're going to rotate it 90 degrees, and we need to edit how many faces we have, or how many edges we have, and we need to make that 8. And then we need to rotate this 360 degrees divided by 8. I guess we can just kind of eyeball it. And there's that. Okay. So with that, that is really going to be the only part that really needs to be like a hexagon on this. And then all the other parts just kind of need to be like straight cylinders. So Now we need to do the same thing. We need to make a cylinder, rotate it 90 degrees, but this time it doesn't really matter it doesn't really matter how many sides it is, because this needs to be more circular anyways. And then we're going to select all the faces, and we want all this to be one piece, so we're going to select these faces, we're going to extrude and scale so that this adds like an extra face that we can extrude and go straight out. And then we're going to do the same thing, we're going to scale it in, and then this will be the actual like pipe thing. And so for this part, because this has to be smooth, we will actually probably smooth this. We will probably actually smooth this after we add edge loops and make sharp whatever we want to be sharp. Let's move this closer a little bit. And then what we're going to do is we're going to extrude it out. We're going to extrude it out again. And then we're going to select these. We're going to extrude these out just a little bit. And then we're going to select these. And we're going to extrude those out a little bit. And then for this, we're going to select all these faces. We're going to scale it down a little bit. And then we're going to extrude it in. Not too much, just enough where it's kind of dark on the inside that we don't really see what's going on inside, that kind of thing. And now if we smooth that, it's almost like what we want. We do want it to be a little bit sharper, so we are going to add some edge loops. So now that's what we're going to do. We're going to add a few edge loops here. So we want one there, there. Basically just add 2 around every existing edge, so that way that one doesn't need one. That edge does not need one because that needs to be smooth. So that can stay. And add one here and here. And here. And then of course we need to add some here and here. And now we smooth it, and that's starting to look just about perfect. And now that I think about it, I think we should probably add edges to everything. No. I think we should probably add edges to everything, just in case we do decide to smooth everything. So let's add edges on either side of these. And smooth that, and let's see how that looks. Yeah, that is just about perfect for what we need. And now all we really need to add is we need to add the we actually need to scale this down a little bit because it doesn't need to be that long. So we're going to scale this down, move it out. And now all we really need to do is we need to add like this thing on the bottom that I guess collects the ink, the spillage I guess, and then we need to add the details on the side, we need to add the tank in the back, and we need to add the pipe that goes around the side. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're actually going to go ahead and we're going to add edge loops to this whole thing, just because we don't want anything to be, we want it to look like smoother. And I think I've ultimately decided that I'm not going to try to texture this on here just because that's not within my skill set yet. I'm not really sure how to like make ink splotches and make some things like one color. I like have basic knowledge of how to use Lamberts and blends and stuff like that, but I'm not 100% sure on like how to like paint things. So once I figure out how to do that, like maybe in future builds, maybe I will. But for now, that's like not within my skill set, and like I need a little bit more training before I do so. And that's okay. If you're not like able to do something, if it's not within your skill set yet, that's okay. It's all a learning process, and there's always room to improve. So, and that's what I've learned throughout the years, is that there are some things I need to learn how to do that I just can't learn and teach myself at home, and that I actually like need to take a class or try to get a certification for. So just keep that in mind. If there's anything, like if you watch a tutorial and somebody does something you don't know how to do, it's okay. So now what we need to do is we need to make the pipe, and then we need to make the pipe that goes on the side. We need to make the tank that goes inside of the machine itself, and we need to make the pipe that goes from the tank to the like disposable pipe, and then we need to make the tank in the back, and then we need to add the details on here, add the thing in the front here, and then we should be done there. We might add some details on the side and on the top, just depends on what we get to. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make a cylinder, and this is going to serve as our like our grate thing that goes in the front. So what we're going to do is we're going to select all of these faces on this half, and we're going to delete those. Then we're going to select the edge, and we're going to fill that hole, and then all we're going to do is take this, stretch it out to about the size that we want it, and then we're going to put it, try to put it in place, and this actually needs to be rotated down a little bit according to my reference image. And then this needs to be scaled out a little bit. I don't want it to scale out that far. I think that should be sufficient in terms of scaling it out. So now for this, what we're gonna do is we need to move it in a little bit more, and we need to move it down, and then we want to select the faces. I want to select all these faces, I want to press extrude, and I want to scale it down, and then I want to extrude it in so that we have that right there. And there we go. So there's that. And we want to add edges along here because we don't want it to smooth over. We want the edges to be somewhat sharp. Sorry guys. And there's that. Now let's just move it a little bit further in, and there's that. Now we're going for kind of a simple-ish shape. like not anything too sharp, nothing too smooth, like just kind of in between. And like I said, this is only like simple, like I'm trying my best to follow the reference image, but I won't get everything. So just keep that in mind if you're following along. Now on here we want to add some multi-cuts because there's a spot right here. There's a spot right here that we want to extrude. We want to scale it in, and then it's like an opening, so we want this to extrude in just a little bit, and then the same kind of thing over here for these. We want to extrude this, but we want this to extrude out this time, and you'll see what we're doing with this in a second. I'm going to do the same thing with this side, scale it in, and extrude this out. And then we're actually going to select both of these. And, well, I was going to use the scale method so that we could try to make it equal, but so for this right here, you're seeing I'm adding a whole bunch of these edges in here. Because these are like vents, I guess, according to my reference image. And we want to select every other one on both of these. And we want to extrude these in just a little bit. And then we want to add edge loops in there. There's a whole lot of edges that are going into this, but sometimes you have to. Add edges on the top of these so that these stay rectangular. Looks like we gotta add some edges down in the bottom of this. Add some edges in between these. And let's do the same thing over here. Looks like we got to do the same thing for these corners. Okay, I think that's sufficient for that side. Now we got to do the same thing on this side. And there we go. So there's that. Let's sharpen up this a little bit. There we go. That's a whole lot of edges that I wish we didn't have to add, but you know, sometimes it happens. So there's a detail down here that I actually missed. So we're gonna get a cylinder, rotate in the Z, 90 degrees. We're going to scale it down, bring it forward, and it needs to be right here. And what we're doing here, we need to add multi-cuts here and here, and then I want to scale this down and like right here, and let's smooth it and then bring it up into place. And what this is this is like, I guess, a hinge. We didn't get to do this yet, so we're gonna do it now. Put one in the center. Oh. Put one in the center, put one here, and put one here. And there we go. And then after we're done, we'll combine all of this and we'll smooth everything and we'll get it ready. So now what we need to do is we need to make the pipe, and we need to make like all the details on the side. So we're going to start with the details on the side. There's these panels, like small little panels on the side. There's quite a few of these. So we're going to extrude these in. Just small little panels. Let's add edges. And let's see how that looks, and that looks pretty good. We're going to do the same thing over here. And smooth it. And that looks good. And now all we have left to do is to make the tank and the pipe that goes from here around to the top in here. And then we have to add one small little pipe like right here. Not quite sure what it's doing there. We're actually going to do that first, and then we're going to make the tank. And then I'm going to take a small break. So we're going to Z 90, and we're going to pull it down, and it's supposed to be right around here, so we're just going to scale it down, and it needs to be a little bit smaller. It should be right around there, right around that size. So what we need to do here is select these faces. We're going to extrude, and then scale, and then extrude, and scale. What I want to do here is select these faces, and we want to extrude these inside. And then all we're going to do is we're going to add multi-cuts to this. All around, because we want all this to be nice and not too sharp, but sharp enough. And that looks perfect. Now we're actually going to take this, we're going to scale it down a little bit, and we're going to bring it down right around there. And that's where that's going to go. And y'all can see that this ink machine is finally starting to come together. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make the tank. I'm starting to look at this, and it looks like the tank has to be a little bit wider than we would probably want. Actually, that looks just about perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to multi-cut here, and we're going to multi-cut here. And we're going to select these faces on the top and the bottom, and we're going to just extrude those out just a little bit, not a whole lot. And then all we're going to do is we're going to add some multi-cuts on the top and the bottom first. Then we want to move this in so it's placed where we want it to go. And we're going to multi-cut all around here. And smooth it and see how that looks. And that looks just about perfect. And now finally all we have left to do is add the pipe that goes from there to there. So continuing on with the ink machine, there's a few more things that we need to do. I want to add some details on the side here because, like I said, the reference image, it didn't really show the image very well about the things that go on that side. So we are going to add some details on that side, and then we also need to do the pipe that goes from here, from this sort of like gear shape here, around the side and up to the top. And so we're going to start on the pipe now. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a cylinder and we need to rotate that 90 degrees. And then sorry guys, I have to pull up my reference image here. Okay, so now we're good to go. So we're gonna scale this down, and we want to pull it forward. Pull it forward, pull it to the side, scale it down more. Then I want to scale this down just a little bit more because maybe scale it up a little more. There we go. And the first thing that we want to do is we want to add an edge loop here. So that way this stays sharp. And then we're just going to move this in here. And then the first thing that we need to do is we need to select all of these faces. I want to delete those. Select edge and fill that hole so we just have one face that we have to mess with. We want to extrude this out. And this is a little pipe area, or a little pipe that's going around the corner. And right around there. And rotate it again. Scoot it to the side, and then finally scoot it this way, and then we're just going to scale it like that, and then move this straight to the side like that. We want the end of it to be right here because we actually want to take this face, press extrude, We want to scale it down a little bit because this is going to be like a black, I guess you could call it like a rubber pipe, or this is going to be like an ink pipe, I guess. So we're going to put this right around there. And now what we need to do is we need to extrude this out. And then we need to take these faces and extrude this out a little bit. And then we're going to take all these faces, select the edges, and fill the hole to get that pipe again. And then we're going to extrude. We want to select the face. There we go. And we extrude. And we're going to extrude again. And let's scale it down so that way we get a perfectly flat edge here. And then we're going to kind of do the same thing. We're going to extrude, scale it down, extrude this up. And then we are going to extrude again, just a little bit. Select these faces, extrude these out. Delete that, select the edge, fill it, and then we select the faces and we just extrude and turn, rotate. And then we do the same thing, extrude and rotate. And then we extrude and scale it to be flat like that. And then all we do from here is we extrude, scale it down, and then we want to go a little bit, just a little bit, and then we want to do extrude again and do the same thing, except this is going to go inside. So I'm going to select these faces, extrude that out. Select these faces. And select this face, and then all we do is extrude it. And we're going to rotate it. And then we're going to extrude and rotate again. And extrude and rotate. And extrude. And then finally we're just going to scale it flat. And then we're just going to take these edges and kind of just match them up where they need to go. And that's about what we want right there. And now all we need to do is add edge loops. We need to add them here, 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 here. We need to add some on the inside of this. Uh-oh. Okay. And now we need to add them here and here. And we just add them to the seams of every interconnecting pipe that we see. And then we smooth it. Uh-oh, what's going on there? Okay. Yeah, I think that fixed it. Nope, I'm not sure what's going on here. I see what's happening. There's an extra edge in here, and that's what's messing up the entire thing. So the problem with that is we actually can't, like, fix that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna fill hole, and then we're gonna select that as a face, and then delete it. Well, it won't let us do that. Okay, well, here's what we'll do instead then. We will just act like this isn't here, and we will just scale that down where it is unseen. We will select these edges, and we will bridge these together. And there we go. Now everything looks fine. We don't have to worry about that anymore. And now we can work on adding details to the other side. Alright guys, now we're not going to see much of this side, so we're only going to add like a few minor details on it. So I think like what we're going to add is we're going to add like we're going to extrude this in. I think we're going to extrude this in a little bit, and then extrude it again and scale it, and like basically just add a panel to the back of it, or to the side, because sorry guys, my computer is being really slow right now. As I might have stated before in like my past videos, I do all of my work on a laptop, so everything can be slow from time to time, so just be patient. We add some edge loops in here. Because we want this to be nice and square. And we add some here and here. And then we're going to see how that looks. And I think that looks pretty good. And so that's really all we can add to this. think we're gonna select like a couple faces and just extrude them in just for a little bit extra detail. Nothing really much more than that. Maybe not that much. And then all we're gonna do is we're gonna add some edge loops. Sorry guys, it's getting really slow. There's so many edge loops in this project that it's starting to take a toll on my computer. Once we get these done, all we have to do is color, and then we will be good to go. And then we don't have to worry about anything. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and save because it sounds like my computer might crash. So. And smooth it. And I think that's all we're going to do, guys, because if I add any more edge loops, then my whole computer is going to crash, so we don't want that. Now, the reason why I'm not adding much detail on that side is because really, whenever I render this image, really the only thing you're going to see is this side, because this is, like, based on the reference image that I have, this is literally all you see from the reference image. This is the exact angle that it's at. You might see the tank peeking out a little bit back there, but other than that, this is literally all you see from my reference image. And I would show you the reference image that I'm doing. I'm sure you can find the exact one that I'm doing and see which one I'm looking at. If you just Google Ink Machine and look at images, I'm sure you'll find this one, but you'll see that the one that I'm doing, it doesn't show, it only shows from this angle, and I think in the game it only shows from that angle as well. And I think this is the one from the actual game, because if you go to Google, you can find a lot of images online that have the Ink Machine, like things that people have created and stuff like that. And so you can find a lot of these images on there. But anyways, the first thing that we're going to do in terms of texturing this is we are going to make a new material, and Ink Machine is kind of shiny, or isn't shiny, it's kind of like bleak and rusty and has ink coming out of it and stuff like that. I do not know yet how to like paint and add texture and do all that like on a model, so this is kind of a new experience for me. So basically it's gonna look very bland, it's gonna look very like vanilla in terms of color. But just know that it is not within my skill set to try to it is not within my skill set to have those colors, or like put those colors on in terms of like painting it on and adding ink splashes and all that stuff. So I think that is the general color of the Ink Machine. And now we need to add like black on the pipe, so we're going to select oh my gosh, select the pipe, go to the faces, select these faces and these faces, and then we're going to add another material. Going to make that a Lambert, and we're going to just make this completely black. And I might add another like shade of like yellowish tan. Yeah, I think I will do that if I can. So we want to assign a new material, go to Lambert, and we want to select the same color, except we want to scroll it over and make it a little bit darker to give it that like texture. I'm going to do the same thing. Oh, sorry guys. Oh my gosh. I keep clicking my Alt key instead of my button, or I keep clicking my Windows key instead of my Alt key. We select these faces. And assign a new material, Lambert 4. Oh, what did that do? Lambert 4 was not, okay. So we're trying to add a little bit of texture to everything. We're going to add the texture to the bottom of this. Try to give it a little bit more color. I'm trying my best to texture this the best I can. We're just going to say that this is a new ink machine and that it hasn't been used yet. We're just going to say that this has just been created, I guess, because of how clean it looks. Usually the ink machine should not look this clean, but, you know, things happen, and like I said, I do not have the skill set to make this 100% how it looks in the game, so. And there you go, guys. There you have it. There's the finished ink machine. That's really all we can do with this for right now. Actually, let me... We're going to make this like this, except we're going to make it really, really dark. And there we go, guys. That is the finished ink machine from Bendy and the Ink Machine. Let's select everything. Let's make sure it's all nice and smooth. And there you guys have it. That is the finished ink machine from Bendy and the Ink Machine. Like I said, once I get a little bit more practice and I learn how to actually like paint the models and learn how to make ink splashes and stuff like that, I might go back and texture this file and make it look like the real thing. However, that's outside of my skill set for the time being. But anyways, I hope you guys loved this video, and I hope you guys will like, share, subscribe, and send this to your friends, and hopefully this can inspire someone to become a 3D modeler and learn how to do things like this and maybe discover their passion. But like I said, like, subscribe, share. We're really close. We're about 15 subscribers away from 100 subscribers, and if y'all do that, I will be making a video of me modeling my own 100 subscriber play button. 100 subscribers may not be a lot to some people, but it is to people like me who are just starting out YouTube and are trying to get a small community of artists together. But anyways, I hope you guys liked this video, and I will see y'all in the next one.